Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me for being transmitted into this forum by video on this video format. Thanks to Dr. Yusuf Torman, who was suggesting the same so that still our project can be included in the third international platform on integrating Arab infrastructure in a global environment, as we believe that our project is situated within this general overall topic rather well. And I will try to exemplify how and why. My name is Guido Zebisch. I am here as a project director and chief advisor in a project called Arabterm. It is a project that is developed and carried out mutually between Alexo and its Arabization Coordination Office in Rabat, that's the BCA, and the German Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, the GIZ, formerly known as GTZ, that has been operative in numbers of Arab countries since the late 1960s. It's my purpose to try to point out what effect our dictionary project can have and how a mutual interest to enhance digital Arabic content can be beneficial. Now, first of all, we are here in Rabat at the BCA. BCA is Alexo's linguistic standardization unit, so to say, the Bureau for the Coordination of Arabization. Alexo, needless to say, is the cultural, educational and scientific organization of the Arab League, the main partner to the German government in this project. Based on the assumption that within the Arab countries there is a need to enhance scientific Arabic, particularly with regard to technical disciplines, this project was designed starting in 2008 and has taken shape on the ground in Rabat based on this partnership from 2010. And we are together developing technical terminologies in 6 disciplines, and these are renewable energies, electrotechnical engineering, automotive engineering, water technology, infrastructure and transport, as well as textiles industries. The overall inspiration for the project stems from an ancient 18-volume strong print version of a technical dictionary that was edited by Edition Leipzig, an East German, that is GDR editor, implying a scientist who is Dr. Anwar Ibrahim, an MIT graduate at the time, and it was the first technical dictionary for German Arabic, 18 volumes strong, however, probably becoming a bit oblivious with the end of GDR, and there has never been an update ever since. This has been taken up in the form of this idea. However, in the internet age that we are in, it will probably be a rather wise step to focus on electronic formats and electronic modes how to put together a dictionary today. Now, to give you an example, we will look at the dictionary together. We have mainly here a platform that will give us technical terms in 4 languages across these 6 quoted disciplines. And the 4 languages that depict the terms are French, English, German, and Arabic. The target language really is Arabic, as the definitions are being made available in Arabic. Along with this comes a technical drawing or a little technical sketch with an Arabic legend, and that's also rather rare, as we have found out. We believe that the accessibility of an online technical dictionary in highly demanded technical disciplines will be a given. We can also say with confidence and little pride that in fact the number of terms that we are trying to make available publicly are between 4,000 and 8,000, and we wish to increase this number of terms. We have to understand, however, that this project finds its meaning in the fact that technical terminology as a linguistic speciality has not been covered to a satisfying degree within Arab countries. There have been numerous attempts, yes, there have been attempts on behalf of diverse organizations. However, we know that there is the linguistic diversity and also the linguistic gap or the divide between a rather French-influenced Western sphere and a rather English-influenced Eastern sphere among Arab countries, and then also countries where neither French nor English play a considerable role. Now, we believe that all efforts of terminology standardization have been worthwhile. However, the coordination of these Arabized terminology that will be held valid across the majority of Arab countries can be increased. Now, as GIZ, we have a clear objective with regard to our intervention. Just only to give you an example, if so far the dictionaries of Alexo and BCA were published in print and contained between 2,000 and 4,000 terms, we now move on to online platforms, and we increase the number of terms from 2,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 to 8,000. That's a significant increase. We also decrease the production time from formerly up to 6 years to 1.5 years. We also imply numerous circles of technical scientific revision, so that scientifically and technically the dictionaries that we suggest online are as close as possible beyond fail. Of course, we know that terminology has its intricacies on every level. We also know linguistically that we will always find Arab scientists who will have like additions and comments to make with regard to a certain way of phrasing our definitions. We have to consider that, on the other hand, that is normal among, let's say, with regard to an academic process in general. By offering this online terminology platform, we also adopt new forms of exchange on the very content, as there is also a forum where there can be debate about correctness of terms and definitions and additions and suggestions being made. We also include in our website as it is the so-called suggested translation, as we do not want to become canonical at all. We want to suggest a translation. We also offer, if there are very marking other forms in the shape of the regional varieties of Arabic, we're also including those. To give you an example, as we are in Tunis, we have here for the term crankshaft the usage of vilebrequin. The vilebrequin comes, of course, from French vilebrequin. The same as in Egypt, for instance, it will be amoud al-krank from crankshaft once again, and then in Yemen it will be al-krin, again from crankshaft. Now, of course, this is not an Arabized form. The Arabized term could be, as we suggest, al-amoud al-mirfaqi. As we have ample of examples of the same kind, I believe that this should illustrate our way of handling the correctness of Arabized terminology. This is also standardized on behalf of Alexo and organized by the BCA, the Bureau of the Coordination of Arabization, in the form of the so-called Arabization Congress. That means special commissions with a technical and linguistic notoriety will conclude whether or not the content as suggested in the dictionaries produced by BCA and in this joint project, Arabterm as well, will pass, so to say, the Arabization criteria and standards. I'm proud to say that we have passed with regard to the first two volumes, Automotive Engineering and Water Technology, and it's time now to focus on future volumes. Obviously, the total number of volumes can be increased by far, and considering that we have here an online tool with all the possibilities given, there is virtually no limit. We could increase, in fact, the number of terms from 5 to 8,000 to 10, 12, 16, 20,000. There should always be a critical mass of terms with regard to a particular scientific discipline. We can also increase the number of volumes by simply adding new volumes, new technical topics and themes. For instance, we now have first plans to also integrate a volume on nutrition and the agroalimentary sector, or, for instance, the environment, including topics from between solid waste management to climatic change agendas and conventions. There is a need for these terms, as we believe that the technical dictionary will not only be appreciated by technicians and academics, but also by the administrators. That means the technicians within the organizations who need to, for instance, translate reports, or, to that matter, unify reports from within the Arab countries. We're also very convinced that by establishing this dictionary more, it will be spreading not only across the Alexo cultural educational systems, but also be taken up by the Arab League, where there is a number of programs in the very technical disciplines that we also try to depict. Now, Speaking of coordination and cooperation, there's a lot that can be done, and a scientific network like ASREN will be very useful to that end. We need here a nexus and a combination not only of technical terminology, scientific terminology, but also all the internet, infrastructure, Arabic digital content stakeholders that are there. We also need to increase visibility and approach the economic sector with regard to the usability of technical terminology inside the and within the very numerous industrial sectors. And I am hoping that we can increase synergies here, because this is all about synergies. Synergies with regard to technical domains that have been covered already, that might need to be revised. I am certain that there are some organizations that have their own terminology dictionaries produced in print, maybe in some years back. This can be revised, can be taken up. And there is also space for new concepts and new and innovative types of technologies that are not depicted so far. I'm thinking of nanotechnology here, for example, but then also biotechnology, but then also all the very concepts that keep changing, that need to be absorbed very quickly to be made to good use amongst the users inside the Arab world. Now, and that's what we should keep keep in sight as, let's say, a larger objective, how to create here a catalyzer that will quickly integrate technical knowledge from let's say, technical standards, international, wherever they come from, be they Chinese, Japanese, Korean, North American, European, German, to quickly integrate these technical developments into the Arabic language, so then that the dictionary production sector can have a larger connection to the dynamic economic sector. One of the considerations on behalf of the German government, of course, is to think of the millions of employments that must be created in the Arab world according to all the demographic analysis prevalent. Numbers may vary, but let's take one of them, 100 million jobs until 2020. This is a real challenge. I'm thanking you for your attention. We will quickly browse over the website so that you can take a look. We have plenty of promotional material as well, and you can reach our website at www.arabterm.org. I'm thanking for your attention.